pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, move back. Kathy, you want to call the roll, please?
Mr. Ripko, Mr. Lewis,
Here.
Mr. Wilbur, Mr. Ziegler,
Here.
Mr. Fisher.
Here. I need a motion to accept the minutes of the September 13th and 27th meeting. No. Second.
Mr. Ripko,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Here.
Mr. Ziegler.
Aye.
And Mr. Fisher.
Item 3 is a resolution authorizing the payment of claims. You all have. No move. Second.
Mr. Ripko,
Aye.
Mr. Lewis,
Aye.
Mr. Ziegler.
Aye.
And Mr. Fisher.
Aye. Item 4 is reports of town officers.
I move these reports be received and put on file.
Second.
Mr. Ripko.
Aye.
Mr. Lewis.
Aye.
Mr. Ziegler.
Aye.
Mr. Fisher.
Aye. Item 5 is correspondence, and item 6 is a motion to receive correspondence.
No move. Second.
Mr. Ripko.
Aye.
Mr. Lewis,
Aye.
Mr. Ziegler.
Aye.
Mr. Fisher.
Aye. Item 7 is audience participation. Anyone that would like to address the board on anything that is not on the agenda, please step to the podium and state your name and address, and we will listen to you and your concern. Okay. Seeing none, we will move on. Before we open a public hearing, I know there's a lot of residents from the Highview Circle area. Before we start the public hearing, do any of you have questions? Because once the public hearing starts, we can't answer it. So, yes, sir.
Yes, my name is Troy Marshall of the 18 Highview Circle. I have a question about where the lights will be placed.
Where they are,
Okay,
where they're presently located.
Present location.
Replacing those,
I see.
yeah. Yeah, there's four up there.
Yeah. Anybody else have any questions?
The letter indicated that the cost is gonna be $25,000 plus up to $15,000 a year. Did I read that correctly?
The cost, the 25,000 will be for the, there's gonna be new standards, and I think Tom has said they've looked in probably new bases for the, lights to be put in, plus the tops, and that's estimated about 25,000. And then the estimate is, that the annual cost will be, 1,500 for service to the district.
To the area.
Okay,
And that would be split between the 13 existing ones.
yes,
Both costs,
pardon?
both the upfront as well as the ongoing maintenance.
The upfront, yes, the upfront will be an upcharge. And from what it looks like, in talking to Tom, there's money in the LED project that we just did that will pay for the installation and buying the stuff. Therefore, that'll be charged over 30 years.
So it's not everybody has to come up with, 13 people don't have to come up with $25,000.
Right.
If it's 25, whatever.
We
it
don't
is,
know.
We don't know.
It's just- we had to put a figure in there. Hopefully we're fine.
And then the 1,500 is not per lot, it's divided amongst all of the lots.
Correct.
Right, it's per year, and it's in 15, chances are, Tom, what's Arden Drive approximately?
Tom lives in our driveway.
The service up there, I think she said about $750, $800 a year.
What was your
The service
Right.
for Arden Drive, do you know what the annual cost is up there?
I smile because they were our neighbors for many years on our
Okay.
drive. It's like $109.
Yes, I don't think it's, 1,500, I believe, is high, not 2 times, but, but high.
And that gets added to our tax bill.
So you will get, it'll be charged on the January tax bill, whatever is.
There'll be a separate
It'll be-
line.
it'll
item,
be the-
separate-
It'll be the service plus the reducing the debt for the installation.
I'm gonna amend what I just said because being the LED lighting, and the reason we're doing it is
It's going
it'll actually be a third of what the current costs
Yeah.
are with sodium lights and the other lighting.
We just make sure we estimate high so you can be surprised.
Right.
Say, geez, that's high.
Does Highland Terrace, which is a similar development to ours, and I think was by the same developer as us. They have 14 houses and 4 lights. Are they doing the same, having to do the same thing?
You guys are unique.
Yeah,
You had lights for however long the subdivision's been around. And it's
Right now,
never
your
been
lights do
charged
not
out
exist.
by electric and gas and never been billed to the town and never been billed to anyone.
So that was gonna be my question. NICEAG originally paid for that light setup, right?
No,
No,
The developer,
the developer,
well, we don't know.
Ambrose did it, and Ambrose put those in.
Gotcha. So who was paying for the light, the electricity that goes?
Nobody.
Nobody. That's how, when we changed over to LEDs, they
Oh,
came,
it's awful,
NICEAG came and said.
Yeah.
You own Highview Circle. We didn't know anything about Highview Circle and
Okay.
research. Nobody owned it.
Nobody's, it hasn't been paid for. The service hasn't been paid for.
It hasn't been paid for.
Since the subdivision began.
But they also said they were not gonna go back.
Oh, no, they're not gonna go back.
They're not going
They're not
back.
gonna go back to back stuff.
Right.
You know, it's just,
So what about the existing light structure in the fixtures that are there? We can't just put new lights in those? They look
The-
fine.
They don't. In looking at it and thinking they don't like what the posts are. So they're gonna put in new posts. And the light fixtures would have been brand new anyway, on top of the post.
Okay.
Plus, the other thing you said you looked at is the bases on some of them are not. That
oh, they're
good,
just driven under the ground.
right, so the bases
no
may be put
foundation.
in,
Okay. Have we gotten 2 quotes on this?
we haven't gotten any yet,
Okay, these are just estimates.
these are, exactly. Because once we pass this and the board approves the district. Then you guys have 30 days to just pass a petition to decide whether to have a vote. To approve or disapprove the district. So we ain't touching anything until
Okay.
probably now it'll probably be spring. Before we touch it, but
And that vote would be by just the residents.
just
of
the 13
lighting
people.
district?
Okay, so just make sure I'm clear, the way it's been written in this document, it said the $25,000 estimate. Was to be borne by the 13 residents,
Yes,
okay? But then what I just heard you say is that you've identified funds through the LED project that perhaps will could wipe that away.
no, you'll pay it
you'll
back.
pay it
You'll
back
get to
over
pay
a
it back
30
over
year
30
period.
years then.
You don't have to come up with a
Still
lump
have
sum.
that
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's taxed.
all the lights that we put in, all the districts. That we have, they'll be charged out the proportionate share. Of that. What, 400,000, 500,000, whatever it happens to be. So
Okay, so that'll be further broke down once this is all
Yes.
identified.
if. The town had to loan the district the money. Then the town would be looking to get it back over 5 years. Okay. So,
If we vote to say yes to the lighting district. Prior to that vote, will we know?
you will not
what
have a
we're gonna be
vote.
charged?
You don't have a vote unless you put in unless someone passes a petition. There is no vote.
Right, so let's say we pass a petition.
Yep.
And we want to vote on it. Is there a way to say, yes, we want it, or no, we don't, and know what we're actually going to be charged?
No.
Prior to saying yes.
No. No. There's no way to come up with that at this point in time, because it's not there. The posts, I think we have an estimate on the post. What's the heads gonna cost? They were like $1,200 or something.
They are, and the nodes are another $600, which actually control the decorative LED lighting.
Yeah.
What we're trying to do is to get these in such a time that they're the same thing as every other decorative light in the town of Horseheads.
Right.
with a LED project that we're working on right now.
And until they're in and until we get a bill, we don't know what they're gonna cost.
We'd like to get them in now, so you know how everything else is, you wait, and then just go.
But that $25,000 is payable by 13 lots over 30 years.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
So
Yeah.
if we move, it's a
The new
liability
homeowner,
to
the
the.
new homeowner,
it's the district.
It's
It
the
has nothing to do with the people.
people, it's the district
It
itself.
has to do with the district.
Yeah.
It will be on that property tax bill.
That comes about with the creating of a light district
Right.
Correct.
is what this is, and there's already 17 within the town of Forsyth. So this is not unique, or it's not a new way to do this.
Okay, but just making sure what you're saying is that. There are 17 districts already,
Correct.
this will make 18,
Yes.
Yep.
and those 18 lighting districts now are paying for all the LED upgrades.
Not all of them,
No.
but not all of them, but yeah, they're paying their share, yes.
It's okay.
Okay,
We have a number, we have lights that are not in districts that are just charged as part of the general town tax. You know, I go home, you go by Middle Road and Ridge Road, there's two lights. You go by, you make the turn onto Ridge Road down on Ithaca Road, there's lights. Those are all lights that are in the town, but they're not in districts.
Everyone.
Light down here on the corner, those type of things, there's a lot of those out there.
It's just neighborhoods.
The wanted
Neighborhoods,
lights.
yeah, neighborhoods are district. Because when they went in, they, you know, well, Metal Arc Manor, they wanted lights. Scenic Drive where we are, didn't want lights, they weren't put in, so the developments paid for their own lights at that point in time. Usually the developer put them in, but any future service, annual service or replacement was paid for by the district.
So that's what's happened over the years then, when we see people come up and fix the lights, it's Matt and his guys. Coming up to fix the lights.
Now, Matt,
No,
it will be.
was nice, it was
NICEAG just
nice.
filed-
NICEAG was still doing it, NICEAG still came out and fixed it.
they just didn't bill any.
Can I ask a question? I don't live up there. So who's gonna own the lighting district? Is the town putting this out to bid?
I don't understand
The lights are there.
The
Well,
district,
no, the new lights.
the district
So
is
you
its
say you
own
want-
entity.
Nice going, we didn't pay the bill.
Lights, right?
No,
The district is its own entity.
Right, but it's. You said you won't know what it's gonna cost until the project's done. Doesn't it have to go out to bid first?
No,
Why?
no, not for the district,
Well,
no.
why wouldn't?
We've
you?
already done the work through the LED project
Well,
as
why-
to what's
Well,
going
why
on.
wouldn't you go out to bid before you just get it done?
It's
Because
being
it's not
included.
bid,
You're not gonna install the lights until we know the cost,
right,
so.
Well, they said they were gonna know until it was all done.
right, we're not.
That doesn't make sense.
If we approve, if the district gets formed, then the district, the notice has been given, how much the estimate's gonna be to put it in. And what the annual cost is, that's all we're required to do. If they don't want it, they can pass a petition, vote it down, and we'll pull out, the lights that are there will all be pulled out, that's all.
I don't. Like,
Yeah,
I
You know, I
don't
mean,
understand
no
the
big
question.
issue.
Oh, I just think it.
It just doesn't seem like normal business not to have it quoted out prior to having it completed.
How can we tell you what the service is gonna cost? We can't.
Yes, you can.
We got 4 lights. We've never gotten a bill on that district
I'm not worried about
of any way,
the
shape or form.
service.
Yeah,
I mean,
the cost is-
And
Information.
and based upon the estimates we've gotten for posts and the heads, 25,000 we figure is a high number. You know, we don't wanna estimate, we don't we don't wanna estimate and say, this is exactly what it's gonna be. And then we run into problems doing things, putting things in, getting bases put in, getting the stuff, and all of a sudden, we can't do that. We have to give a realistic number, we feel we have.
Still
Are these going to be installed by the lighting contractor that you're already using to do the LED conversion?
Tom,
That is not part of their contract.
right,
This is a new district. Whether we contract it out or if we have the highway department doing it.
all the contractor did that did the LEDs is change
the
heads. That's all they did. They did not put in poles, they did not put in bases. And then new fixtures at that point.
So the scope of work seems to be pretty set. You
Yeah.
know what needs to be done up there, right?
Yeah.
Exactly what needs to be done.
Yep.
So asking a contractor, whether it's the one that's got the job today or somebody else that you've worked with in the past. What is going to be the cost of that? It's not that difficult to do.
We've estimated that. I mean, based upon what we know from other things. It's been estimated, 25,000 is high. What's the concern? That it's gonna be 12,000 and you didn't get to pay 25? I mean, I don't know, we don't know what the concern is.
The concern is making sure we're not
You know-
paying more than we should be paying for it. That's all.
Well, you want,
If we want. And that's assuming that we want this, right?
And that's a good point, Marty. So my
we're
point is, we
past,
already have the
we're
light
past,
fixtures
we're gonna
in
open the
place.
public hearing and you guys can speak
Bring
to
this up
that.
under the public hearing.
Yeah, this is beyond questions
Yeah,
now.
this would fall under public hearing.
So we'll go,
Fair enough.
we'll open the public hearing. And then we can get your comments. with
Okay,
regard to
John,
that.
we'll open a public hearing, item 7-8. So you can read.
Town of Horseheads notice the public hearing. Please take notice that the public hearing will be held by the town board of the town of Horseheads on October 11th, 2023 at 7 PM at the town hall. 150 Wygant Road, Horseheads, New York, 14845. To consider the request for the establishment of High View Circle Lighting District in the town of Horseheads, Chemung County, New York. All persons will be given an opportunity to be heard at the time and place aforesaid. Any person requiring special assistance should contact the town clerk prior to the meeting. By order of the town board of the town of Horseheads, New York, Kathy R. Wood, town clerk, dated September 25th, 2023, published one time in the Elmira Star Gazette on Friday, September 29th, 2023. I'm going to open the public hearing for anyone who wishes to make comments with regard to this matter. If you want to make a comment, please step to the podium, state your name and address, and upon being recognized, make your statement. During the public hearing, the town board does not participate. If you have further questions, make the statement. We will attempt to answer them after at that point in time. Anyone wishing to speak at all, please? Anyone at all? Motion's in order to close the public hearing.
Need a motion, gentlemen?
No,
Second.
Mr. Ripko.
Aye.
Mr. Lewis.
aye,
Mr. Ziegler.
aye.
Mr. Fisher.
Aye. I don't know if I'm in a bad spot or not here. Discussion of possible action regarding the establishment of Highview Circle Lighting District.
With regard to estimates for installation, Tom came up with a number for the heads based upon what we know paid for the other heads. And these are decorative heads.
Correct.
So they're more expensive. They're all over Barrington. So we have basically a good number on that. The posts, there's 4. And I know you and Marty met on those the one day down there. We looked up posts. To see what, and have they settled on?
On one, but posts generally run anywhere from around $90 up to $206.
Right,
The post that we'd really like to have is anywhere from 124 to about 149.
right. So those have been done. Then the question was the posts that are up there are driven into the ground. And the thought was that they're sturdier, they don't move at that point.
We don't.
So, but everything that's up there would come out and new would all go in.
So. Just listening to these people, John. I don't know why we can't get Tom, do we plan on bidding this out? For the, cause you're gonna have to dig down, put a concrete of some sort in the ground, correct?
Correct,
They're not gonna just be pounded in.
correct.
We believe that at this point in time is what we want to do.
So I just, were we planning on bidding it out like they?
No,
Not that portion.
yeah. Realistically, what we plan on doing is have the highway.
Our guys would do
Put these.
the bases in,
Okay,
okay? And then the electrical wiring. We've talked to,
I've talked to several of the local contractors. And, they will come in and. It's high voltage that's gonna go into these. So it's nothing that you want the highway guys to be
absolutely,
doing.
I agree.
So the actual connection will be made by contractor.
which we would eventually get a price. The reason, as John explained, the 25,000 was put in, we are anticipating that will be high, yes. And it'll come down. We don't know. Because I talked to my highway guy to put the bases in. Okay, the cost of the poles and stuff, we've got the price in. But we've talked to several electrical contractors, we haven't got any price on that yet. What to do, not know what the wattage is gonna be.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
we
with
got
LED,
billed.
it's gonna be less, right?
Yes, with the LEDs, it'll be less than what's out there now.
The way that cost was, the annual cost was established was
I'm sorry.
taking similar tax districts with anywhere from 4 or 5 decorative fixtures existing. And those were the prices for the annual cost.
Can I add something to that?
Sure.
I'm still struggling with the fact that we have light fixtures that work. We have a system there that works. They've come up before with those light fixtures. They don't move, they're sturdy. Why can't we just replace and fix what's there? And put a new light in?
Our intent
But-
right now is not to have to replace the same thing in another 5 or 10 years.
But then you bring that up at that point in time.
I think the people that are sitting here in the community would rather chip in and pay for the lighting at that point. Than buy all new fixtures and light posts and have them driven into the ground for 25,000.
The new fixtures are gonna be the LED fixtures.
Yeah, the
that are like
fixtures are
every
gonna be
other-
replaced. You
like
wanna
every
keep
other-
the same poles and everything.
So,
Is the way I'm
so
reading it.
I know a little bit about this stuff. You're telling me we can't put an LED
No,
in there?
you gotta
No, not
replace the
standard.
fixture.
The
So
fixtures
the
gotta be
fixture,
replaced.
so it's all
Okay.
gotta be replaced. The poles possibly could stay, if that's what you want.
Could we get an independent evaluation of this?
You guys can do what you want. We're not gonna go get it independent.
Okay, I just feel like, I know there's districts out there that are getting all new poles and if you know, Barrington goes up, you guys are putting new stuff in and you want it to be all uniform. I totally understand that. We have been up there for 25, 30 years with these poles. The lights go out once in a while. I don't see the issue with.
There's only one light working that I'm aware of now up there. One is blinking, one's not out at all, and is very dim.
I think they're all out at this point.
They're all out.
Yeah, I think they're all out.
This was 2 months ago where one was working.
Right, so, I mean, they're all going out at about the same time anyways. In the last year, correct me if I'm wrong, they've all kind of gone dim, so. That being said, I'm struggling to come up with the theory behind this, to replace all the poles and the fixtures when you have infrastructure there. And I understand you want to go to LED, but there's a gap here, and I'm trying to figure that out.
Well, first, and correct me if I'm wrong, Tom, the lighting fixtures that are there now are antiquated, they're not making them. That's why we're going to LED,
Okay,
okay?
but you can buy a bulb for it.
No, no,
We would have.
you
done
can buy
that
one
throughout
at your
the whole
house, you
town.
can buy an LED bulb, those are entirely different. You have to replace the whole, everybody in the town, when we changed it over, they replaced all the fixtures.
Okay,
Okay. The poles they kept, the fixtures they changed.
So why can't we keep the poles up there?
That's what I'm asking, is that what you,
It's fine with me.
yeah, I think the poles have worked fine up there. We get a lot of wind. I don't see them wavering at all.
and so I made a note to check and say, can you keep the existing poles and just change? the
Just slip line the
fixtures?
wire through it and.
I'm not an electrician and.
Yeah.
And that's why Tom has been working on this project for a few years.
And I appreciate that. I just think from our standpoint, we have these.
And I
lights up
appreciate
there.
that too, yeah.
Yeah, we just have these lights up there that have worked and they go out and we replace them. And I would be hard pressed to think that there's not a replacement light that would go in there. In fact, I'm sure that there's probably an upfit that you could do for that fixture. I bet you there is.
No.
I know that you guys have already gone down this path, but I'm sure with a few phone calls, we could come up with a solution.
We've
The
been. with
situation became that those lights did not exist for anybody before September.
Yeah.
NICEAG didn't own
We didn't
them,
own
the
them.
town didn't own them. They did not exist.
But if NICEAG did not own them, why did they service them then?
Yes,
Well, you may-
that's exactly right.
They couldn't answer that question when we asked them that.
And honestly, I don't believe that Ambrose forgot about those lights.
Wow.
Well, Ambrose
When
didn't
I
forget
talked,
about it.
when I talked
He
to
put 'em
Art
in.
Ambrose, couldn't remember who put them in and when they put them in.
Yeah.
And who's paying for them.
Yeah. If I could just throw in a few things. Village of Horseheads replaced all of their lighting situations to LED. They're one of the first ones in New York State that did it. I was mayor at the time, criticized like hell because it cost so much to do it. We bonded it. But the savings on electricity was 2/3 savings. They were saving over $200,000 a year in electric bill. Consequently, the whole thing was paid off pretty quick. If nothing is done, is NICEAG gonna be sending us a bill for those lights now, the electricity?
No, if they don't want a light district coming out. If they don't want a light district, then we will,
Well, I don't
we will
think
yank,
take them
we will
out,
pull
but
them out.
if nothing
Yeah.
changes and you leave them on, or put them on, or get them going.
Yeah.
Electricity bill is gonna be sent. Okay. Is there any chance that the poles could be saved, or are they rickety?
They can be saved. They're all
Yeah, man.
fiberglass. Yeah.
I-
They're fiberglass, yes. They're in good condition.
They
I'm
need
asking-
painted, but.
I've only been up there once to look at them and I don't remember.
Right. So
I know they-
who actually owns these
If
poles?
they're salvageable and you can put
Is
the
it-
lights in, as the village did, that's the biggest cost.
Okay.
But I don't know about the condition. Do you wanna do this 5 years from now?
The town does not own these yet
I don't know,
because they didn't exist.
Right.
So how can the town pull them out then?
but you don't.
They're in our right of way.
Just light bulbs in there and pay that.
They're in our right of way. We can remove them.
So what if
So you can relocate them on your own
Tomorrow, those lights
property
worked.
and deal with them
they
that.
said just leave them alone? Do we pay for the electric bill? Let's say we wait,
We'd have to develop the lighting.
Just
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
climb up
yeah.
the pole.
Everything's
I'm just saying hypothetically, okay, let's just say.
hypothetically, you could have that. And then you could pay for what you want if the pole's on your property. Right now, the poles are in
And
our
you
right.
would run
Okay, so-
electricity out of your house.
I understand that. My point was if we came up with a law for the electricity at that point, or are you guys gonna change them out regardless?
That would be between you and NICEAG. The town would be out of it at that point.
We would not own them.
I think we have to like think about too, like. Now that they've explained kind of how the finances are gonna work and the breakdown. down over 30 year, we're literally talking about potentially $180. We're talking about all of these things, but in the big scheme of things, it's $180 over 30 years. So
And once the infrastructure paying for your electricity.
for me coming into this meeting, I thought it was $1,000 for like
Right,
making it.
right.
So now when I'm thinking about, okay, what's $4,000 to $180
Yeah,
a year?
that's a good
over
point.
30 years?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
So you
like
figured like
$180. I think I
$65.
That's
I
good.
can handle that.
And we have to start someplace.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
certainly, exactly, but I think
And,
when.
and
you
we're
kind
trying
of-
to,
When you break down
That's
what
what
we're talking about in the big scheme of things, do we
Totally
really,
get
do we really wanna like go through all this work when we're talking about $180 a year? I don't know.
If that's what it is.
Great point. I just
that's-
don't-
that's
the
not
lights,
in-
everything's there. Why can't we just
Right.
replace the bulbs? I mean, it's.
Just replace the fixture.
Yeah. and then if that's-
The yellow
maybe
LED,
it's
I
only
think
like
LEDs are
$100.
regular.
it's- I'll check on that. I'll find out if,
Right.
But
Have you seen these streetlights that have been switched to LEDs, how bright they are?
Yes.
I've got one short in my house, I go up.
That might be annoying.
and the nice thing about it is,
That's a good point.
it doesn't illuminate the whole neighborhood.
Yeah, it doesn't, it break down, doesn't go up into the sky. The only thing that. Very durable. I think you all ought to think about is if you go and use the fiberglass poles you have, and if they are just pounded into the ground, correct me, Tom?
Correct.
And we go and get, say like the electrical contractor or wherever we went, through the electric. They do modify that to make it work, and then something happens to the pole, I mean, it's all up to you guys, but like you said, $180 a year, you get the new poles, you get the. It's all wired up right, new lights, you don't have to worry about nothing, but again, that's.
Also, if we have to remember, and if you leave her sell your house, two 1 year, two, you just pay for 2 years, and then you got
The new owner.
new work,
Right.
yeah, so.
I think everybody got scared of, not scared, over the $25,000.
Oh, yeah, I can't blame you. You see a thing at $25,000, you go, oh.
I think that you ought to really think about and consider it.
And listen, it's a great program for the 8 districts. I totally get it, but we've already got lights and poles in our neighborhood. So that's my only point. Like, why
Also-
can't we just fix these like we always have?
Also, we have a lot of for the 18 or 17 lighting tours. They if they ever had have to had a change for toll from lot of them that will help them could have done but before, so now, so I don't know.
Thank you.
So what's the next step for us?
For you.
Tom, what is-
Next step is if this board passes the resolution forming the lighting district, then we'll give you guys notice. You'll have 30 days to pass a petition for what's called a permissive referendum. You have to have a certain assessed value to sign the petition, and it, because of the size of this, it probably works out that one owner or two could sign a petition and force a vote. If that happened, if that petition comes in due time and due order, then a special election would be established. We would get a hold of the election district, we'd get a hold of the Board of Elections and get names and everybody who's up there who have a right to vote and that type of thing, and then one night hold an election. And then wherever it came out is whether the district would be established, or would continue, or would not.
So
So,
no one, if you do the resolution and you form the lighting district and no one petitions it within the 30 days, then it just moves forward.
it just moves forward.
Okay.
And we don't have any say about any of the options that we talked about tonight.
Well, we'll look into it.
Right.
We'll look into it. I'm not saying we're gonna go in there and put $1 million pole up there all in gold because one of your neighbors wants it or something. We'll look into all the options once it's,
I know you.
Do we need to pass this tonight, can we table it until we find out if those poles can be used? And if you could put LED lights on, which, you're gonna have to pay for the electricity sooner or later. We want to form the district, or yank them out. And you don't want that, you want some lighting, the LEDs are the answer, they're very cheap to operate. What we don't know is, well, why are we yanking poles out? We need something. Tom and our highway superintendent, Donnie can go up and look. Do they need to be yanked out? Yes or no? Can you replace them with LEDs? Yes or no? What's the projected cost? And talk to Mick Nick or somebody to get an idea, ballpark, of what it might cost to slap an LED light up there, so you know what we're gonna be voting on before we vote on.
Excuse me real quick on that, because if that were to occur, there's no reason to create a light district. And they would just maintain their own lights.
Well, the lights would come out. We take,
We'd have to
the
pull
lights
them-
will not remain without a district.
Yeah.
No, we want the light district, we just want-
Now, again, they can put lights on their own properties and build to their house, you know, that light.
Not to prolong the agony, but I don't think we've paid, and I don't think we as a town own those lights anyway. So
We
I
own
guess-
those lights.
Yep,
Since the conversion, we own those lights. If they call for a light out, NICEAG will tell them the town of Horseheads owns those lights.
exactly, that we have to service.
They have to service.
Yeah.
Because once this came to head and we signed off on everything, we now own those lights. And
So if you form the resolution, you form the lighting district, I think we're in favor of. But how are you gonna communicate information to us in regards to, Don, what you were just speaking about? Is it something that would be mailed to us, like to say, hey, we looked into this, you have this option, like we can keep the poles, we don't keep the pole, like.
I think we need to gather some, my opinion, thought. Gather some information, use the poles that are there, yes or no? Why do we need to get rid of them? Can you change the heads? Village of Horseheads changed every head in the village. And the poles were there. Were they the right poles, as nice as these new ones are gonna be? Probably not. These poles you're looking at probably fit your neighborhood better. But aesthetic looks, cost of the project is what you're looking at, because we don't really know. I personally have a problem voting on something unless I know what the tag's gonna be. Or a better approximation. And here we are voting and talking about something, and this was I never thought about, can we use the pole? Would it ever come up? I figured it was, make them out, put 4 new poles in. I do know that if we have to pay the light bulb price, it's gonna be 2/3 higher than what the LEDs cost to run the electricity. You're not gonna want that, because they're big bulbs.
So we can't run those, I don't think,
And not even
we
then. you
can't
gotta
run those
replace.
bulbs, what, another 2 years or something?
Yeah,
We've got to have them all changed over anyway.
Anyways, right.
I think the heads have got
I
to
think
be
it's-
changed one way or another.
Right.
if they become private lights,
But your
they can
people,
do anything they'd like to do with them.
$25,000 scared the hell out of you. Didn't me, but we
It's
have to
work.
put a figure in. We know it's gonna be less. But we don't know what less. So the information channel isn't as direct as you might like. I'm just a board member. I don't know, I'm
What-
throwing out, we're talking, Carl's got some ideas, thoughts.
What, the new poles? Let's say they go with the new poles, we're gonna have our highway department put them in, correct?
put the bases in.
Put a
base
pole
in.
and put the pole on the base and then put the fixture on the pole.
And then the electrician's gotta wire it all up.
So just think about, you're gonna get a new pole, you're gonna get a base, you use the old poles, something happens to them.
I mean, you know,
Yeah,
Well, I guess they don't, they gotta be inspected.
prior to, yeah. I wanted to be the devil's advocate in this, just because everything up there works except for the bulb. So, you know, I can see both angles. There's valid points in both scenarios. However, when you talk about spending 25,000 for infrastructure that's already there, you know, is there a plan B? Or is there another option? And I think what Don is talking about, if we can vet out some of these options, and then maybe, I don't know if this is possible in this arena, if we can then talk about it or make a decision at that point.
It's
so
an
Tom, what
informed-
is the possibility of getting a head to fit a pole like that versus your new poles are all designed for?
It's not one size fits all. I really don't know what the size of the fitting is. There may even be an adapter of some sort between the pole and the fixture.
What's the difference between those poles and the ones up in Barrington?
Well, I have
Did we know?
compared poles, and I don't know
Okay,
if they're 2 3/4 or 4, or
right.
I don't know.
Where have you guys put the new poles at?
They are right where they are.
No, where have you installed new poles that you were
Oh, I'm
talking about, that we could go look at?
I don't think there have been new poles installed. I think new heads have been installed.
Oh, so that has
We,
been
we,
done.
we,
New
yeah,
heads on poles
I think because they had newer tools to be.
to begin with, I see, okay, which makes sense, ours are probably the.
no, I don't think that's right. I don't think that's true.
I don't think that's true either, because our
No.
drive's been there forever.
Yeah. No, Barrington's been there a long time, and there's poles up there that are gonna have to be changed.
They're gonna
out.
be resucked out, some of those poles gotta be replaced.
Okay, so what about Highland Terrace? That was a good point. What kind of lights are over there? Are these the new lights, the old lights? What are we looking at Highland?
Highland Terrace being where?
That's right on the other side of.
It's off Veteran Hill, isn't it?
Similar
Right
development.
It's right behind our development, yeah.
Right.
Do they have lights? Do they have lights up
They
there?
do.
They do, they have
Oh.
4 lights and they have 14 homes on the street.
Okay,
That's District 9.
yeah.
Is that what it is? District
No, I'm saying you're gonna add it.
Oh.
They bet changed out. It's already. a district.
But by any means, we're not making no money on this situation, we're just trying to, you know.
They're,
Yeah, no,
they're,
I
they're
just
a
want the
district,
lights
but I
to be seen,
can't tell you
because
what they
those will
pay.
be- We can take their lights and put them in ours.
I can, oh yeah, all the lights in the town of Horsens, except for the,
For ours.
not just yours, but like where John said. The community light,
Community lights, right.
their districts.
So Highland Terrace was already a lighting district.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
got it.
Should be, yeah.
If you go to the town website and you go to tax glance, you can look up Highland Drive addresses and look at their tax bills.
Yeah.
And
It'll
you
tell
can
you
see that
lighting
line item.
district and what they pay.
Okay, so
So there's an option.
that's
right
parlayed
there.
out on there.
Yeah, it's a line
Yeah.
item.
It's just
Yeah.
all your line items like the library,
Right.
and in your cases, it'd be fire district, fire protection district, whatever, those extra charges are.
Yeah.
You don't have water, so you wouldn't have that, but,
There's sewer.
or sewer. Yeah, that's.
I wish we had water.
Yeah.
Tried, nobody would vote for that either.
That was, we did that twice. We did that twice and they got shot down. Right.
Get water up there. Yeah.
All over the town, yeah.
Yeah.
And when they got the expenditure, thought your 25 grand was a high estimate.
All right.
Yeah, I don't like
We'll
that.
still stick with it well then.
And it only comes up when there's a drought.
They have the Highland
Good rain.
Estates, they have the Highland Estates Lighting District. And on a house valued at. Let me go back here. A house valued at 300,000. Is paying $71
What's in the sewer?
a year.
Yeah, I think that's what we have to think about.
Right.
We're talking.
And we'll try to get you the other stuff.
That might drop.
See if
Mhm.
those work.
That might drop with an LED.
Well, yeah,
That'll drop.
This is-
That's last year's tax. roll.
This is the bill that came out, you
That's
know,
what I'm saying.
yeah.
So is that the light fixture and the electricity to go to, is that?
No,
That's
this is. On last January's tax bill, so it has nothing to do with the changeover.
Right.
Either in service amount or the amount that they may have to pay.
Okay.
So ours
This
would
could go
be-
down lower.
If you take the.
It could go lower, but with these, with the.
But the new
That's
January
not the
tax
LED
bill's coming out in January.
It's not.
It's,
This
I don't
is
know.
not
if
the
it's gonna
LED
be the old
price.
ones. No, this is the
Go
old,
lower.
this is the
Well,
old.
no,
paper-
but it could go higher because you gotta remember, you gotta pay back the
The law.
the installation.
I'm talking about the cost of the electricity.
Yeah,
Right.
no, the cost of the electricity, yeah, that's what it was under the
You
old.
divide it out, it'd be $64. For the lights. So if you want, you can get brand new poles, brand new fixtures, brand new light, brand new light bulb, the whole nine. For like $180 bulb.
And that's
So
how
the
they-
And that would be the high end, that would be the high end of the.
The board members,
That or less.
a couple of the board members are adverse to passing the lighting district. So if that happens, and then you can work on this, then it'll come back next month, November, to pass. And then you'll still have the 30 days to wait before anything else can be done. So the option is to pass the light district tonight, knowing that there's 30 days that everybody could operate. And you could still bring in a petition if you go, shit, we really don't like that. Two of you can get together, do a petition. But leave it up to you guys, because I don't think these guys will, I think they'll adjourn, they'll table it at this point in time. So,
So it'd be without.
and I don't know
lights.
whether 30 days is gonna mean anything.
What started all of this was in 2017, the state legislature passed every municipality. By 2020, will have LED lighting.
Mhm.
Within months, they found out that wouldn't work. It's now been extended out to 2025. What has happened with municipalities is that those that have changed over have made astronomical savings. In the same time, NICEAG and other providers have increased the cost of electricity. So we'll take round numbers. If the billing for electricity was $100 and you changed over to LED lighting and we take 1/3 of that $100, we take it down to $34 instead of the $100. But as the rates increased for electricity, that would have been 125, 130, whatever the rate increase was. You'll see that increase in your house electricity. So if you don't do LEDs, the costs will still continue to
Right.
rise. Now, these being said, if you choose not to go into a light district, those will have to be changed over if the town is going to be responsible for those lights. I've got to check a couple things because I'm not sure who we paid to have those 4 lights in the town. So if they become private lights, you can do anything you want with them.
Right, and I don't think we're ready to do that. We don't want it to be private lights.
If they're private, you're gonna have to move them.
Move, they
Right,
have to be moved.
that's not what we're going here. I
Right,
think
yeah.
that we're
Exactly.
all on board with what's happening. My thought was, and I've seen this before, where you take a transformer in an old light fixture, you change it out for the LED light fixture, and we go with LEDs with basically a small modification to the head. So, I mean, I know we're not talking about a bunch of money. I don't need to beat a dead horse, but there are other options here, I think. It's
And,
my only point.
and like John said, we could table this till next month and find out some of these
Right.
answers. And then it just, after that, if we decide to
It's just
in
gonna, it's just
November,
gonna prolong it.
which is fine.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
Well,
we
yeah,
haven't,
but-
since you haven't formed a decision at that point.
That's,
right?
and yeah, I mean, I don't
Yeah.
think we're not getting new lights, even if we said yes today anyway.
You're not getting them tomorrow, no.
Right,
And you won't have before Halloween.
right.
So,
You're
as I
okay with
understand it, you're gonna investigate further. And we'll bring this back next month.
We'll check it, try to get more firm prices and see if those poles will handle
Okay.
everything. It's for just what you asked, changing the heads out.
Yeah. Who was who as a Person, Tom, or you guys?
Tom and I and Steve are working on it, so we will look into that. And then we've already contacted a couple of the electricians to get prices to convert it. Like Tom said, it's not changing the wall outlet, so we're not doing that.
Right.
So,
Don, I'd make a motion to table this. For a month.
Yes.
so.
Do we have a second?
You know.
Aye.
Mr. Ripko.
Aye.
Mr. Lewis,
Aye.
Mr. Ziegler,
Aye.
and Mr. Fisher.
All right, now, I don't know the gentleman, is Steve here, Steve Wilbur,
No.
or not Steve Wilbur? is it?
Steve, right?
Right,
Yes,
yeah,
I'm here.
because a lot of communication has been going to you, correct?
Yes, because I was the initial to NICEAG to find out that they said they didn't take care of it.
Because I know we have your email.
Yes. Yes.
Are you in charge of the information?
So he's the champion.
I don't want to put him on the spot, but he's the only email we got.
No, I mean, because in my, for the 27 years that I've lived up there, NICEAG has always taken care of those lights.
Yes. Yeah.
And within the last year, all of them have gone out. And so I made the call to NICEAG and they said, nope, we don't have anything to do.
So you opened a can of worms.
Yes, I said, we don't own them anymore, contact the town. But yet I got a conflicting story when I actually called NICEAG and got a representative. Because they had gone as far to tell me to go out and mark all the poles that the lights were out. And they would send a crew around to replace the lamps in them. Or the electric eye. So I put blue painter's tape on all of those light poles that were out.
Still there, isn't it?
Which is all four now. And so then, like, I never heard anything, never saw anybody come up from NICEAG. So then I made another phone call. I got entirely someone different. And they said, oh no, your lights are owned by the town now. So that's when I came into town hall to inquire. And then opened up the whole can of worms.
Yeah, because I made 3 or 4 phone calls. We don't own them, right? 'Cause we have nothing on record.
Right.
And finally,
You own them now.
So.
okay, so that's what we will do.
Okay.
And we'll get to, if, I don't know, everybody signed a sheet, if there's a phone number or whatever, addresses. I don't know what's on the sheet anymore because I don't sign in.
There's no place for address or.
We can get information to everybody.
I mean, I am in agreement to a point with Mr. Lewis that as much as I would like to see a head change on the pole that's there. Those poles are fiberglass. You can start to see the strands of the fiberglass and the paint has, because of the wind that we get up there all the time is blunt.
And that's probably another reason why they told us.
But I would hate to see something, you go through the expense of putting heads and lights up there and then a pole snaps. And then it's like, now what do we do? So,
It's gonna cost more.
and with the cost, if it's over 30 years, I think it would be just as economical to go ahead and put a base in if they need a base and a new pole and the head and the fixture and whatnot. I mean, I would like to see comparison of both.
Yeah,
Both
we'll try to get that
options.
and get that out here. Anybody got anything else? If not, we'll move on. And item 10 is a resolution to set a public hearing for November 8th for local law number 4 of 2023, a local law to override the tax levy limit established by municipal law 3. Need a motion to set the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Ripko.
Aye.
Mr. Lewis.
Aye.
Mr. Ziegler,
Aye.
Mr. Fisher.
Aye. Item 11 is a resolution that public hearing for water districts 9 and 10 for November 8th at 7 p.m. Motion, please.
Second.
I need a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Ripko.
Aye.
Mr. Lewis. Mr. Ziegler,
Aye.
Mr. Fisher.
Aye. Item 12 is a resolution to set the public hearing for the preliminary budget on November 8th
at 7 p.m.
No.
Second.
Mr. Ripko,
Aye.
Mr. Lewis,
Aye.
Mr. Ziegler,
Aye.
and Mr. Fisher.
Aye. Item 13 is discussion possible action regarding the Clean Energy Program campaign for clean heat, which we passed a long time ago.
Did he come back in? Or did
Yeah,
he send you information?
Yeah, I got a whole bunch of stuff here. And we need to pass a resolution benchmarking everything, and that's the wrong one. Right? That's Apple Ridge. That's just
That's all I have.
okay.
Don't move. Don't you want a motion?
Yeah, to set well,
There's.
we don't
two
need a
resolutions.
public hearing on it, we're just doing it by resolution. You're doing it by resolution. We should have the resolutions, we'll just have to change some wording in the resolution. We've had this campaign since 2021, and the people running it sort of got out of it, so now Cornell Cooperative Extension's taking it over. And it's, doesn't cost the town anything. It's a campaign for the citizens if they want to go to heat pumps, stuff like that, to save on their energy costs. So in order to get this reactivated, we need to approve the benchmark reporting and the New York State Unified Solar Program for clean energy resolutions, which we have. Just have to change wordings because we don't like to write them all over. Right.
Want a resolution?
Yes.
So.
Second.
Mr. Ripko,
Aye.
Mr. Lewis,
Aye.
Mr. Ziegler,
Aye.
Mr. Fisher.
Aye. This item 15 is discussion of possible action regarding 2019-5127 TX Apple Ridge versus LLC versus Town of Horseheads. John? This is the tax assessment case that's been hanging around for the last 4 years with Apple Ridge. We've negotiated to settle it for 10 million. Our appraisals came in during the reval for between, I think it's 8 and 11 million, 8 and 12 million. So talking to Teresa, talking to the school district, that's also a vocal party in these things. 10 million was a reasonable number to settle it. So we need a motion. The board will give, the board approves it, then I can sign the stipulation when it comes in.
So move. Second.
Mr. Ripko,
Aye.
Mr. Lewis,
Aye.
Mr. Ziegler,
Aye.
Mr. Fisher.
Aye. Item 16 is a resolution approving the municipal cooperative agreement for Greater Tompkins County Municipal Healthcare Insurance Consortium. As you know, we have our insurance through Tompkins County because we saved the money. And the 24 premiums came in and it's an 8% increase. For next year, which doesn't surprise me. And the contract is, I need authorization to sign the contract. How many years is that? Or is that?
Is that Cayuga Medical?
No,
No.
no,
No.
Greater Tompkins County, it's a consortium.
Yeah.
Consortium of what?
I-
It's God, a ton of municipalities. Yeah.
Also move.
I think when you're the first initial member, it was 3 years. After that, the MCA gets amended each year.
Yeah.
So move. Second.
Mr. Ripko,
Aye.
Mr. Lewis,
Aye.
Mr. Ziegler,
Aye.
Mr. Fisher.
Aye. Item 17, there's no conference attendance. So that concludes our agenda. I'll go around the table. Carl, you anything?
Yeah, I got a couple of things. What, we last, couple of meetings, you were gonna discuss with Marty about bonding the road up there. Did we decide if we're just doing a gentleman handshake? if we're gonna
We have an
bond?
agreement, not a bond. We have an agreement.
But I thought, John, I thought you said something about we should bond that.
No, my understanding is we talked that Marty's keeping his eye on the amount of traffic going in and out, because he has the right to shut that road down at any time and then bring it right to the board.
And
then we can deal with it.
And the agreement is afterwards put money in an account for the road repair. Instead of going through all the paperwork of bonding and everything else. And they've marked the roads, which was ours. And we knew that was bad with the road. And Marty's there about every 3 days checking it.
I know that we weren't notified in time about anything, but.
That was not the contractor's fault, that was the village orders.
I know that, but I'm just saying, I just hope they don't destroy that road and they have enough money.
If we shut it
in there
down, they can't use it, they've gotta fix it.
Yeah,
That's a quick solution to that. The bond, you can go to court, fight it out, well, meanwhile, waiting for it to get going again. It's kind of novel.
no.
He can put a weight limit on it. We gave the
permission
highway
for-
superintendent authority to weight limit under 1660 of the vehicle and traffic law years ago. But then the only one who can put a weight limit on is the town board. So he can post it, then has to bring it to the town board immediately at their next meeting, and then the town board can decide what to do. The other thing is he can dig a ditch right in front of their property and keep them out.
That access road that they're using to go in between the properties, the board back in, oh, I got it on my desk. Bob Chapman was still supervisor, gave him permission to use that road.
And I see we got a letter here about the L, and I had a phone call on it the other day. Any updates on what's gonna?
Yes, that we talked at the planning board meeting the other night, and I said to them that we got to get a recommendation out of that board to this board for the PUD. So I asked each of the board members to take a look at what they believe should be one of the recommendations regarding the how the plan unit development should be amended for the L at under their present configuration. And we'll see what will work, and then it'll come to this board to call the public hearing, and then ultimately make a decision with regard to that operation at this point in time.
Because they, in this letter here, that the pastors came, and I guess one of them came.
Yep.
Pass, and they thought there would be no more alcohol out there, but they don't really have.
Have you
the
been out to
control,
check it
you know?
out? Have you been out to check it out at all?
Oh, you got a picture of it.
Well, I don't rely on pictures to go. I've been out there a couple of times. I'll probably go out this Saturday just to check it out. They had a 1-day liquor license when I was checking it out the last time.
Yeah, they've been getting 1-day liquor license from ABC. We sent, as you know, we sent a letter, and this board also approved the letter. And told them that the town does not approve for any events like that, more than the 4 that are allowed at that address. Well, the ABC board has apparently continued issuing 1-day licenses for them. Now, in reading that section of law, it does talk about the 4, but the first words are except for certain not-for-profits. So now all of a sudden you gotta, are they or how they're operating that the exception? We believe that the church is not operating those concerts. That the church is basically a landlord, they're the property owner. And that the I Matter Foundation is the one who is operating the concerts, so they're a tenant of sorts. Well, they are a tenant, that's not of sorts. I mean, you have to say that they are a tenant at this point in time. So ultimately how it's going to be resolved without ending up in Supreme Court is probably going to be difficult. So we're gonna have to make an ultimate decision with regard to the rezoning, the amendment of the PUD. And then when they continue doing what they want to do, then we will have to go to we'll have to go to Supreme Court, hopefully get a temporary restraining order and end up getting an injunction to stop them from operating. In the meantime, the assessor decided that based upon their operations, that 65%, I believe she used, of the facility is taxable. So they got their tax bill for school taxes at the beginning of September in the amount of $16,000 or $17,000. And they will get a county tax bill January 1st based upon that 65%. So they did not, they grieved it, but they didn't take it to certiorari. So we'll see what happens on that, and they have not paid that bill. We don't believe. School taxes, actually, I could probably tell you that.
Anything
But
else?
yeah.
Gary, you got anything? Don, you got anything?
No, the reason I asked about Tompkins County, the health thing, I just read an article that, Cayuga Medical and the Arnett.
Yeah, they're talking about joining
complete
together.
merger.
Yeah.
And the Arnett is bringing the cancer unit from Rochester.
Well,
to
it's not a done deal yet. It's still in
They put it
conversation.
new as far as I.
Did they say, really? Because I know they were
The
forming a,
Cayuga
I know they
pre-
were forming a buying.
That's what,
Really?
the president of Cayuga is gonna be the president if they form this corporation. And the president of Arnett's gonna be like the executive.
It'll be a second.
Yeah,
Man, yeah.
but it's still all gonna be approved by major health and everything else. I'd like a motion to go into executive session to discuss employees.
They have not paid.
No move. Second.
Thank you all for coming. We'll get you. I need a motion to adjourn, by the way.
Got it.
No.
No. Executive, you must.
All right, executive session.
When you come out of that.
Yeah, we'll get.
When you come out of that.
Oh, no.